So in his letter, in the letter of the OSP, he says that, the original letter, he says that he's investigating some revenue assurance, something like that. Okay. In my interviews, I wondered why a board chairman is connected with something that has to do with procurement and all that, because under the Procurement Act, board chairman is not a part of it. The Procurement Act doesn't mention a board chairman anywhere. But anyway, this is Kisi Ajabe and the OSP, so no problem. All right. So he says he's investigating something related to revenue assurance audit service of a contract between some company, Evertex. At the board at the Ghana Airport Company, sometime around 2022, the Ghana Airport Company needed money. I mean, there was no money there was not enough money in the system, so they needed money. So
Paul Adom Otchere, as I am talking to you right now, I mean right now, say see me you can say yay. Say oko Paul Adom Otchere fie say see ya ahwe be yere. Be hu ne ma. Ba hu Paul Adom Otchere nanga say hu no ho. OS before action no say see ya kwan.
Bail condition is also presented 2 landed properties in his name of whatever value. And if that is a bail condition, that's a OSP ends sana. Meaning say in the next day or 2 also sit down in the sit down.
Now say na say Paul Adom Otchere as okasa too much, he dey talk too much. Now when I say OSP, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ajabe boss wo so wonya hwe omo aduma. And Paul Adom Otchere nanga say wayabo no pa. Wayabo no pa.
Interest in any of the companies who came there. I don't know who they are. I don't know who is their friend, where they came from. But anyway, the OSP insists that we have to come there today at 3 o'clock. Every lawyer is telling me, look, they want you to come at 3 o'clock and then they will detain you. They may arrest you. They will say, go and bring this. They will say bail. And one lawyer told me that how much is the money involved in that? I said, there's no money involved. There's absolutely no money involved in it. There's no money at all involved. Airport has not paid a single money to anyone. Airport has not lost a single money. And the contract has been signed by the managing director. I asked Manasa Azuri that when you saw the contract, did you see my signature? Did I witness? He said, no. I said, but if the managing director has signed the contract, the managing director has signed so many contracts with so many people that the board will not know about because it is within her threshold and that of management to do. So that's why I told CTFM and Joy, this is a pure witch hunt from Kisi Ajabe. But anyway, all I wanted viewers to know is that this is the story. And also Facebook people. So people want to know what happened. Kisi Ajabe says we cannot postpone it. We have to come to his office today. So we are going to his office today to see it, to listen to him and ask him these questions, and he will also ask us questions. Media people who want to cover it, you can come. I don't know whether it's allowed, public hearing is allowed. People have called me, can we come and cover it? What is going to happen? I don't know how they do the OSP work, but I'm going there with my lawyer and then we'll be there to answer the questions. I'll let you know what happens. Everybody's telling me though that Kisi wants to arrest you and keep you there for the weekend to teach you a lesson because you've been talking about him. You have gone to write RTI about him. You said that he has bulletproof cars and all of those things has hurt him. So he wants to come after you. Well, that's up to him. If that's what he uses the state authority for, it's entirely up to him. That's not my problem. I don't mind. I will continue to do my work, and to say anything wrong about whether it is Kisi Ajabe, whether it is X, Y, Z, W, V, we will have to say it, so long as we can provide the evidence for it. If it is his decision that because we have been talking about him, where there's no concern about board chairman, he will call people and ask them that, say that board chairman did this, say that board chairman, we want you to say that board chairman, we want you to say that, all that gamut of information that all the lawyers are telling me about. I don't know, the lawyers are telling me about it, that this is what is happening, because some of those lawyers have gone there with their clients and they say, tell me that they are saying, what did board chairman do? What did they tell us about? This is the questions that the OSP wants to know. It's entirely up to you, Kisi Ajabe. It's entirely up to you. So 3 o'clock, we will be there, and hopefully we'll be back, and then we'll report to you what happened. This is what we wanted to do, just to tell you, so that people don't have a blank mind and they don't understand what is happening. They think something really wrong has happened. Absolutely nothing wrong has happened.
Now say Kevin Taylor be way on one information because formally no about to just say among for that so have more information. Now when an area always be said was strike again, then of us we are sure. Now we this time around one I'll say Paul Adom Otchere. And the managing director Edema Ghana Airport Company Limited. I say Aden o ma yeden na hwe. O ma say o mo bo mo nsem mu bi kro no bi e course wo ho. contract in SMB with SML, Strategic Mobilisation Limited, for office na e ko ready ye chi nipa 3 no. Sa same deal nti na ye say da hwere kenoforiata. Kai say enne yayi. Kenoforiata case ni de court say wanted na office of the special prosecutor so ye no. Court abu to agu say an or that so wanted. It is still wo be hunu bi otimi chine de no ba. Enne ya so ne say Paul Adom Otchere. Oni the managing director no at that time. Omomra, omomeyi questions bia no. Now when the Paul Adom Otchere court na TV so no say Office of the Special Prosecutor now what more na say wodima na unim. Osimeti was in the manyo course say man for frame say men got here am say kisia jaben OSP boss FF me. Was me meyi questions bia no say regarding what? Ano me say SML deal no say no ono no ye bo che onye procurement. Enti say o probi ate na ni managing director ho Madam Rosemond ho ono de o ba be ne den. Ni boni e wane den. Also mo amukasa ne mamu ho obeko akoyi ano na emo no je omo probi ebusa na question na managing director ma me na ne ono abubu e friend say Magnan e na yatu agu no ono ogogo pre akotia MP ono na ye problem omo nko no so ende ni o throw jabs we no de ma me share bass na se kama say OSP mo fa mo ka na me fa ma me so na mo fa nko
coming later. Okay, so now let's get to the substance of the letter. So what is the story about? What is the whole brouhaha story about? So in his letter, in the letter of the OSP, he says that the original letter, he says that he's investigating some revenue assurance, something like that. Okay. In my interviews, I wondered why a board chairman is connected with something that has to do with procurement and all that, because under the Procurement Act, board chairman is not a part of it. The Procurement Act doesn't mention a board chairman anywhere. But anyway, this is Kisia Jabi and the OSP, so no problem. All right. So he says he's investigating something related to revenue assurance audit service of a contract between some company, Evertex. At the board at the Ghana Airport Company, sometime around 2022, the Ghana Airport Company needed money. I mean, there was no money there was not enough money in the system, so they needed money. So the board invited the minister to sort of discuss the fees and charges, whether the minister could go through parliament and increase the fees and charges so that the Ghana Airport Company can make some revenue. The minister said no, he can't. Because of the post-COVID Ukraine war, it's difficult to go and tell Ghanaians to pay more. So the board should find ways of raising more money, especially non-aeronautical. These are documented in terms of the policy to raise money through non-aeronautical. It's documented. What is non-aeronautical? If you buy a ticket, I buy a ticket, the airport company gets some money. That's aeronautical. Non-aeronautical is whether they deal in some land or they give somebody space to sell meat pie, or somebody is doing something, or other things that we can do, especially at the cargo area, see how we can get more revenue. All that is documented. So so we were looking for people who can help us in different ways to raise non-aeronautical revenue for the airport, because we're not going to get the fees and charges, because the government policy is that you can't do fees and charges at this time post Russia-Ukraine war. So somebody contacted the board and said that, look, you guys are losing money at cargo, and I can do it. My company can do it. So we said, okay, come to the board and come and do a presentation, which is very normal, very, very normal. So they came to the board to do a presentation and said that this is what we know and this is how it works. The board told them that, yes, you have told us what it is, but there's no real evidence. You haven't given us any evidence that, in fact, we are losing money. And then they said that to do that, we have to work with your management to come and tell you, because we need access to your systems. When we get access to your systems, then we'll be able to tell you in the things that are the revenue that's happened already. So today is July. They will take last year's revenue and show you that this revenue that you got 1 million cedis, you could have gotten 3 million cedis. This revenue that you have 2 million cedis could have gotten 6 million cedis. So the management gave them that, and then they did that. And then the management brought them to the board the second time and said the people have finished their work, so let the board hear them. So the board heard them. And then they seem to know what they are talking about. They seem to show that, yes, revenue was lost and revenue can be gained. So the board told management that, okay, go ahead, which is also normal. The board tells the management, MD and your people, go ahead and work with them and report back to us. So they did, and they went to work with them. And then we continue our meetings. I had forgotten about it. I don't know anything about it. Then the management comes back that they finished with the people. They brought a proposal. It's a workable proposal, but it looks like the proposal, the people are saying that, well, I left something out. When the people said they wanted to do the audit, the original audit, we told them, and I in particular said it at the board meeting, that we can't pay any money The Ghana Airport Company cannot pay you any money at all to do this work. You have to find your own money to do the audit and come and convince us that we need the service. So they said, okay, they'll do that. They'll pay their own money. This is also in letters that they wrote that there will be no financial commitment from the airport company. Till today, there's no financial commitment from the airport company, absolutely none. So they went to do the audit and came back, as I said, and then we were satisfied that they can do something. So management should continue to work with them. Management came back and said they brought a proposal and they are looking at it. However, what they are asking for in the proposal is that if they are commissioned to do the work, whatever money they gain for the Ghana Airport Company, on top of what we were getting already, they want 20%. So for instance, if they find that in the importation part of frozen food or something like that, airport was getting 1 million, but with their work, we now have 2 million, then there's 1 million that they have added to what the airport was getting, and they want 20% of that 1 million. So this was put before the board by the management, who dealt with them, the MD, who dealt with them on the document. And then the board said, no, you can't have 20%. MD dropped them to 16%. So it was agreed. And then MD was told that, okay, go ahead and do the things you have to do. Those are due diligence, public procurement, and then get the document done. This was around November. So this is the last thing I heard about that process. Then December came and then election came. And then soon after election, we were out. By January, we had resigned. All of us had resigned. I didn't know they had signed the contract. Some 10 days ago, Manasseh Azuri called me that he's investigating this matter, and that is so. When the OSP came, then all the lawyers were wondering why are they working together. Manasseh Azuri is one of the people you've been talking about. Kisia Jabe is one of the people you've been talking about. They seem to be working together for this, but I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Manasseh Azuri called me and said that what's the Evertex contract? I said, what is that? He said, Evertex, the people doing quality assurance. I said, the people who do the thing SML does. He said, yes. Then I said, I don't know about it. I don't know where it's gone to. Then it was Manasseh Azuri who told me that the contract had been signed by the managing director on 4th of December, 4 days or 3 days to election. And I said, well, okay, I don't know. I didn't know. This conversation is about 2 weeks ago. I didn't know whether the contract has been signed. I didn't find out whether the contract has been signed because it's not necessary. The board has finished its work. Whatever management does, if the management need the board again, they'll come back to the board. If there's a new board, management will come back to the new board and say, the old board did this. This is the problem we have, so resolve it. When the management is doing contracts, they are doing their PPA contracts under the law, they don't come to the board. They only come to the board when the threshold is beyond. So there are many contracts that the management does that the board doesn't know, they are not aware of. We don't have to be aware of it because the management is doing their work. But when they cross a threshold where the MD doesn't have capacity to approve this, then it comes to the board. So the board is merely there for approvals and also to initiate things that concern policy. So this is I didn't know that the contract had been signed. It was Manasseh Azuri who told me that the contract has been signed. Okay.
So Paul Adom Otchere cars as you need to so any be uncle baby. And Jakra, you know say Paul Adom Otchere. And I didn't car go through OSP office. Say or call akoyi nsam because okro no dia police ni na o che tuntuma unwane utim so nyesum be there fine wa ka wono kre na akofie na akodi akodi wo yere aduane nti we no sa na nka Paul Adom Otchere why na adwene se okwakoye wakoduru oni OSP adidi nkoma yeye Paul Adom Otchere say oh say mawie mitime ko obo se debi obeka for the night I say what also debi obeka obeka for the night what eti Paul Adom Otchere, as I am talking to you right now, I mean right now, say see me you can say yay. Say oko Paul Adom Otchere fie say ya ahwe obehu ne yere. Obehu ne ma, ba unhu Paul Adom Otchere nanga say unhu no ho. Always before action say see ya kwan.
Office of the Special Prosecutor Eddie Abetudwa 7 minutes ago said Paul Adom Otchere and 2 others detained over Ghana Airport Company Limited contract probe as he fails to meet bail conditions. Statement said the Office of the Special Prosecutor has interviewed and formally charged the former board chairman of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, Paul Adom Otchere, and 2 others. However, Mr. Adom Otchere has so far been unable to meet his bail conditions. He is required to present 2 landed properties of no specific value registered in his name However, he has informed the OSP that he does not own landed property in Ghana. As a result, he remains in custody until the bail terms are satisfied. I don't know. Only sit down within the next way.
He hasn't got landed property in Ghana. He has some abroad.
I don't know. No, but sir, bail condition is also presented 2 landed properties in his name of whatever value. And if that is a bail condition, that's a OSPN Sasana. Meaning, sir, in the next day or 2, also sit down in the sit down. Charlie, dog, I mean, can you? Me patch I can you? I say he's required. Tobo. The 2 other persons are Otchere Bafo Ewa, Group Executive, Commercial Services of Ghana Airport Company Limited, and Albert Ajete Ajelaye, CEO of DevNest Systems. Mr. Adom Otchere is under investigation in connection with the revenue assurance contract between the Ghana Airport Company and a private firm owned by the proprietor of SML. The OSP is examining possible procurement breaches, including a sole-sourced contract awarded to a company other than the one approved by the GACL board. In the way in this statement, OSP Ede Abba. Yeah.
Now, I'm not here now. Kwano ko media talk. Yabu ya say anything for here now. The omoye amomone de. And here omotubetwi. Omusa say sure say NPP bet magic power. Say yes. Of course, but NPP unity. After unity, no more unity we are. Government in power be anywhere winning election. First opposition be anywhere winning election. Government in power and a losing election. Into your government in power, no didn't go as a man. Some was as seven so now month for wrestle to a bird yaw. Into another end, Sandy Baba. Now, way, I know when I was not Paul Adom Otchere, oh, Nanka Sankasa, oh, NPP, no in this, and I say, maybe a million people knew behind this new. I don't say. Never seen him up on the so I belong to the right side. And they say right side in there. Then they say, oh, on can't so MPP, but MPP for the man appointment. I'm on a year no airport, but to all the right side. But we for central for Maba, stomach and dorsal.
Can't have 20%. MD dropped them to 16%. So it was agreed. And then MD was told that, okay, go ahead and do the things you have to do. Those are due diligence, public procurement, and then get the document done. This was around November. So this is the last thing I heard about that process. Then December came, and then election came. And then soon after election, we were out. By January, we had resigned. All of us had resigned. I didn't know they had signed the contract. Some 10 days ago, Manasseh Azuri called me that he's investigating this matter, and that is so. When the OSP came, then all the lawyers were wondering why are they working together. Manasseh Azuri is one of the people you've been talking about. Kisia Jabe is one of the people you've been talking about. They seem to be working together for this, but I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Manasseh Azuri called me and said that what's the Evertex contract? I said, what is that? He said, Evertex, the people doing quality assurance. I said, the people who do the thing SML does. He said, yes. Then I said, I don't know about it. I don't know where it's gone to. Then it was Manasseh Azuri who told me that the contract had been signed by the managing director on 4th of December, 4 days or 3 days to election.
After some media to ya or say or the right side, now on can we? And then they are inviting you. You're inviting you Sako. Metro TV so Sako program explaining the reason why OSP now inviting you. They had me say we explain na se me de nka otilo bibia fine bibia correct, but unfortunately see me can say and I mean unfortunately because I'm panian pass krono no wabode ya wallahi tella yanchi no wa ko piem OSP so ya to no kunkwan gingam asem na si wey heat what me de mani age ya chukro say na ma feel because scan omu di mani bi Ghana so brofo you say when you are enjoying the corruption then you keep quiet, but if I'm not enjoying I'll talk about it. Sani me tie me wa o say Christo ni nya corruption na adwuma no ya na onyasika ubo say na say the grace of God enti sani tie no wala do want to drink the grace of God but ampani ampasi we wi ade a wallahi we the grace of God yente no now wey na e ka se no ano no kwani case e besi because oni MD no kwani area no former MIF CEO ono so OSP edi kan invite no e ka say omone ne won komodi na papa no nko ye kwan kudam afa so kwatu kwan okodu airport asa na yedi kan am the pictures abobo airport dada odu ye say chama wo kwan o say o enka me tu kwan ba no so debi o passport no we o say ni o se fabra yade OSP say sa kofie na onsem a ye ne wo kan ye ne won kan wiye o so dwudim bi ehumbo mu bi di no ese say o ye steady na o twen he mre no so a se mre no so a ye ne ubedi se de se nti kwatena fie o say o say adebi ebi ani ho nti ena kisia jabeni ne special prosecutors for no omoni brabre no se mo se Ghana for mu nya adwuma nti omu ye adwuma na ene kro ya no court high court ese maame mo fera mo se den osono maame Ghana for mu kase o suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Esaba tokono the court say on finance mu so on got na on kana asem no oko say petition now omudi tia no say illegal a friend say unlawful na nkrofo kro na omoti so edi na asem no bebre mpe na asem judge for no bebre na ne no ontagba enti omo na ngase no ma sheda bo mutiri mpo say den ya obeyi no o say the asem na say go piem we ECOWAS na Ghana High Court there omo say maami ni case na asem no me ni maami na say chinchina twan here unku a wo de call Supreme Court first one ekoye 3-2 second one ekoye 5-0 what's that asem the same case no mo say any kwan so de call Supreme Court you knew unipa wa lawyer for about 30 years I serve as a judge abeye Supreme Court judge abeye chief justice a case I say we call High Court we call Supreme Court for whatever reason e be no visit Supreme Court now for and okoye 3-2 amfa na pana na wo se ati ye na nka initially ombese be suspend na nka wa watena so ani say la dey be to wase ani ye wo nkunsa e suspend e wo ne kofa justice money e bae ono no be constitution new panel members say omo judges wey wayi wo de ni bi afri no di bia be ka ye wie no na wanya tu na man for say na say ko ye onkrofo ne bia nka 5 out of 5 ga wodi nkunim ye wie ye case no wan tin wase o sa ko appeal bio ye we afa ye constitute new one we ya 5-0 afa di we dey call the right place high court we dey call high court no ye ni asem we ye na pam we dey do Nigeria ECOWAS court wo say ya kwakoto ho say ogura de ugo ye say ya gu wani ma say too much nti Ghana ban ensan fa amount $10 million na dikodi because ya gu wani ma say and the high court say was squash we book case na to agu petition na omode ba ye no committee net na so no omonto o case so the case in the beto aso ye try high court there according to lawyers muni mra temra aka mra edi mra say araba asem no de call ECOWAS court any jurisdiction bia do Ghana your constitution mu enti obetima kan make judgment say ampa maame no unconstitutional na mom no ontimi enforce it unless the president of the land John Dramani Mahama na adwin say obeti ECOWAS for ahead of any constitution so per the constitution of Ghana whatever must be done after committee for na wi omo verdict akase edunie maame na ampa of me odisikantie yi no yebeyu enti bebe odi ko no Ghana according to lawyers say ehun nimfa so ehun hia nka first na mega say dey be omu nim nchen but since na say odi case ni ko high court na odi ko Supreme Court no ama say me anya doubt say baby ase dade no gbeli bi ya te maami enti ena me ka say maame no ompeu according to high court onye ready omo friend no next time say pana no omo ready on say you ready no got na so answer questions enti ena Paul Adom Otchere Rosemond of our managing director ma Ghana Airport Company Limited Paul Adom Otchere oye former board chairman edema Ghana Airport Company Limited and guilty a friend is Chief Justice suspended get to talk on the case ya brought to agu and then legal issues galore Ghana ayede ora is oral enti aduma no e koso e rekodo Ghana for say about to no omo ni nema mensa pe na to ye 1 corruption excessive corruption 2 omo say hardship 3 na arrogance of power and the first one no corruption in there omo forget say John Dramani Mahama ntima anya omo a wallahi talai omo for ne born in da opera on si kwan on na Ghana ye Dubai wanti man chia konfo na mo mfa ne bone nche no enti OSP after say Ghana for so agu no so di na tem ase onye adwuma no o say men kan che Ghana for say hey be fish ne obeti bi na omo so ntimi nche na Paul Adom Otchere eso ka ho bi o ka target no nti ene ye detained no nti o chena ahwe na NPP National Press Conference Party o mesa ya another press conference because ya chi omo nipa ba ko a na say ono na jadam no se settings ono na eye o kasama NPP correct ono ko a one man soldier to me defend NPP sa na Ghana food na da OSP say finally na no o wa be kasa OSP aso ye by any radio so and TV so why a naked truth our Oldboga trends make sure say over subscribe like it share na turn notification button na unya esunya bi hwe for comments to comment section na say OSP adwuma no wani so Paul Adom Otchere ho na Otchere no Paul Adom Otchere no na Otchere no enti when ya dia na me dey ya me dey mum dey god na say no ya kasa too much o ya kasa too much me so mini papa yi say Christmas time flowers in kwa papa no so oto ye flower bouquet Jesus Christ na billions of cities so sada na miyem say sana zantura for yakora corrupt politicians na no kura mi em won say munye investigate this asem no why a different case so why a different case na me kasika afa ho a twen otena me the full details na no ebebro ba comment na photo comment section na say oral is oraling kasidie HEEAAT what you know and so ya ba ko pe numero 1 guda Maxi Billian Macau bye bye.